Okay, first and foremost, I want to give all the honors, the praises, and the glory belongs to my Lord and Savior, whose name is Yahawah, Bahasham Yahawashi, Bahasham Wahavakar Kwadash. The name of the Heavenly Father is Yahawah. His Son's name is Yahawashi, in whom I reverence and honors to the apostles that are in the Holy Spirit, and to the hopeful elect across the globe, and to the few, the very few brothers and sisters listening and also learning in the hopes of being saved within these last days, because we are living in the last days of the last days. So without further ado, we're going to flow with the Spirit, and Lord willing, you will be edified. Alright? So we're going to start off on Job 5 and go straight to verse 11. To set up on high those that be low. So the Lord's going to set up those that are low on high. And it says, and that those which mourn may be exalted to safety. He disappointed the devices of the crafty. So this man's got several devices, right? And them devices are technology, right? Camera systems, and his imaginations. That word for device is mashama. So that their hands could not perform their enterprise. So this man ain't going to be able to perform his enterprise, his business venture. And what's this man's enterprise? What's his enterprise? It's his new world order, right? These people, they're not even, these people, they ain't even paying attention. They're just a minute. And it says, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness. Okay? So that's what's going to happen. The wise, Salakia. Yeah, the wise are going to be taken in their own craftiness. You know the crafty things people do? They're going to be taken in that same craftiness. Alright? And the counsel of the froward is carried headlong. So every counsel of the wicked, of the corrupt, that's going to be carried headlong. It's not going to avail. Okay? And it says, Baba Kasha, they meet with darkness in the daytime. So you have people meeting up in the daytime. And they're doing it, as I'm doing this lesson right now, you got people meeting up in daytime. Doing nothing but darkness, dark deeds. So they meet with darkness in the daytime. This is their secret meetings, right? To try to get us off the street, to try to stop this word, because this word is a threat against the kingdom of darkness, right? And it says, they meet with darkness in the daytime. So what's that darkness? That's wickedness, right? That's what they're meeting with, wickedness. And grope in the noonday as in the night. So it's daytime right now, right? You got people meeting up, having secret councils on us. It says, they meet with darkness in the daytime and grope in the noonday as in the night. Verse 15, but he saveth the poor from the sword, from their mouth, and from the hand of the mighty. So the poor have hope, and iniquity stoppeth her mouth. So the elect is going to, Yahawashi is going to protect the elect. Even though we're going through all these things, and what does Esau want? He wants his agenda. Go to Revelations 13 and 16. This is Revelations 13. And we're going to jump straight to verse 16. Right? Actually, go to 11. And behold, another beast coming up out of the earth. And he had two horns like a lamb. And he spake as a dragon. So when it says two horns like a lamb, it represents the two parties. The Republicans and the Democratic Party. And he spake as a dragon. And he exercised all the power of the first beast before him. So what was the first beast? It was the Roman Empire. Okay? And causeth the earth, and all them which go therein, to worship the first beast, which was Rome, whose deadly wounds was healed. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire to come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. I believe that was Yugoslavia, when the first bomb was dropped. Okay? And deceiveth them that dwell upon the earth by the means of those miracles. We go into this a lot. So many were going to be deceived by what? Miracles. which had power to do in the sight of the beast. So the miracles are in terms of this man's technology, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they shall make an image to the beast, right? An image, okay, which had the wound by the sword and did live. So guess what that image to the beast is? That image is what? It's a likeness, right? You could always see who the handlers are as well, who's handling everything. Easy. But you know, we're not going to pay attention to that. We're going to focus on these scriptures. So the beast, that's what people are going to be serving, the beast, which is the Roman system. And they're going to implement the RFID chip, which they want the masses to have. This is what they're looking to do. Chip people. Okay? It should make an image to the beast. Okay, check this out. Which had the wound by a sword and did live. So that image is the infrastructure of this kingdom. And have power to give life unto the beast. You hear that? You hear that demonic laugh? And it says, I have power to give life unto the beast. And unto his image to the beast. And the image both should speak. Image of the beast shall both speak and cause that as many but not worship. The image shall both be put to death, be killed. And he calls it all, both small, great, rich, poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And that no man might buy or sell, save that he had the mark or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Hear his wisdom, let him that have understanding count the number of the beast. For it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. So, 666 equates to the mark of the beast. And it says no man can buy or sell, save he had that mark. So you're going to be off the grid if you don't have that mark. This is how serious it's going to get. Right? This is Psalms 10. And it says, Babakashah, go to verse 10. Why stand thou afar off, O Lord Yahawah by Shem Yahawashi? Why hidest thyself in the times of trouble? The wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. So who are the wicked? The elites. Alright then. The elites are persecuting the poor. Who are the poor? Well, that's self-explanatory. Right? You have those that are poor in spirit. Right? And you have those that are physically poor. And it says the wicked in his pride that persecute the poor, the elite banking families. Let them be taken, right? So we want them to be taken in the devices they have imagined. So the elites are going to be taken in them same devices that they have imagined for us, right? They want a whole human global database with everybody controlled. For the wicked boast of his heart's desire, they're boasting. So you got the 1% boasting of what they want to get done, of this new world order. And the blessed, it's like I'm moving too fast. Let them be taken in devices that they have imagined, so they're going to be taken soon enough. Okay? For the wicked boast of his heart's desire, so the wicked are constantly boasting of their next desire. What's their desire? They have everybody chipped. They have everybody on the grid. Right? And it says, and blessed the covetous, whom the Lord abhorreth. In other words, who the Lord hates. Okay? And it says, the wicked through his pride will not seek after, if through his countenance will not seek after the Most High. So the wicked, they're not seeking after the Most High, they're not seeking after God. Because they're wicked. Right? So they're not going to be seeking after the Most High at all. Right? It's just the way it is. Okay? And it says, Babakashah, the Most High is not all his thoughts. His ways are always grievous. The judgments are far above his sights. As for his enemies, he puffeth at them. So Esau is puffing at the enemies. He's very proud. Okay? He hath said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. This is how this man's thinking. This man's very proud. He thinks he can never be moved. That's how Esau thinks. But he is going to be moved. Right? That's that pride. Okay? I shall never be moved. And it says, for I shall never be in adversity, in trouble. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. So this is what this man's full of. You're not going to get any righteousness from him. Deceit and fraud. Under his tongue it's mischief and vanity. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places doth he murder the innocent. So he's sitting in lurking places. This man's like a lion, looking to devour the innocent and the poor. Okay? And it says, his eyes are privily set against the poor. So this man, he preys upon the poor. That's why he says his eyes are privily set against the poor. And he sits in what? The lurking places. He lieth in wait, secretly as a lion, in his den. So that's what this devil's doing. He's lying in wait. As a lion, the scriptures never trust thy enemy. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doth catch the poor when he draweth into his net. So his whole thing, this system is designed on what? Catching the poor. Right? Trapping the poor up. And it says, he doth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. What's the net? The net is the system. Okay? He croucheth and humbleth himself, that the poor may fall by his strong ones. And this is by his different legislations. This is how he gets the poor, by legislations, right? And also by debt. That's another way you get the poor as well, by loaning. He hath said in his heart, the Most High hath forgotten, he hath hideth his face. He shall never see it. But the Lord does see it. So, bear me just a minute. We went to that. I'm just flying with the Spirit. I ain't got nothing written down. Have to stay focused. This is Isaiah 26. And jump straight to verse 5. For he bringeth down them that dwell on high. Who? Yahawashi. So he's going to bring down all those that are dwelling on high. All of those. Right? Who's dwelling on high? Those that run this system. And it says, and he will lay, and a lofty city. This is a lofty city. London is a very, very, very lofty city. A very proud city. Right? He layeth it low. So this city's going to be laid low. Right? And it says, he layeth it low. So this city's going to be laid low. According to the scriptures. Okay? And it says, Babakashah. He layeth it low, even to the ground. He bringeth it to the dust. So it's going to be laid low. Via nuclear war. Okay? And it says, Babakashah. Even to the ground. He bringeth it even to the dust. Right? The foot shall tread it down even to the feet of the poor and the steps of the needy. The way of the just is uprightness, though most upright the way, the path of the just. Right? So this place is going to be laid low. Now let's go to Job. Have to stay focused. This is Job 20. When answered Zophar the Nephramite and said, therefore do my thoughts cause me to answer. For this I make haste. Verse 3. I have heard the check of my reproach, and the spirit of my understanding causeth me to answer. Knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon the earth? But the triumphing of the wicked is short. Right? So the wicked, they're triumphing, but it says the triumphing of the wicked is short. It's short-lived. This is why the elites are speeding up things. Okay? It says, and the joy of the hypocrite is but for a moment. So the hypocrites, their joy is only for a moment. A short time. And it says, Babakashah, though his excellency mount up to the heavens, and his head reach unto the clouds. So his excellency is what? These buildings. Look at these buildings. This is Esau's excellency. Right? All these buildings, which look like mountains, these skyscrapers. This is his excellency. His space programs, that's his excellency. Okay? And it says, yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. So this man's going to perish like his own dung, like his own shit. This man's going to perish. Okay? Yet he shall perish forever like his own dung. They which have seen him shall say, where is he? He shall fly away as a dream and shall not be found. Yea, he shall be chased away. So this man, he's going to be chased away as soon as their missiles hit. It says, as a vision of the night, this man's going to be a vision of the night, never to be seen again. And it says, the eye also which saw him shall see him no more, neither shall his place any more behold him. This is verse 10. His children shall seek to please the poor, and his hand shall restore their goods. So you're going to get Esau right begging, well, you know, we feed the charity. We do good work to charity. It doesn't mean anything. You have a lot of people that do work to charity, but they're still devils. So it doesn't matter about the charity work you do. You could still be a devil. Okay? And it says, his children shall seek to please the poor, and his hand shall restore their goods. So everything the elite stole from us, they're going to restore. His bones are full of the sins of his youth. So this man has never changed. He's once a devil, always will be a devil. And it says, which shall lie down with him in the dust. Though wickedness be sweet in his mouth, though he hide it under his tongue. That's why you can never trust your enemy. Though wickedness be sweet in his mouth, though he hide it underneath his tongue. Right? Though he spare it and forsake it not, but keep it still within his mouth. So that wickedness is never fully gone. It's always there. Never trust your enemy. Scriptures tell us that. You never trust your enemy. You never let your guard down. This devil was created to be the evil. Right? He was created to be the wicked. So knowing he was created to be the wicked, you can never trust your enemy. You can never have your guards down. Because once you know the characteristics of the devil, your enemy, you're able to suss out his tactics. Okay? And it says, though wickedness be sweet in his mouth, so it's always there. Though he hide it under his tongue, so it's just hidden. He just hides it. Okay? It says, yet his meat is in his bowels. It is gall of asp within him. He hath swallowed down riches. So this man is swallowing down all type of riches. Okay? And it says, and he shall vomit them up again. So even though he swallowed down riches, he's going to vomit up their riches. The Most High shall cast him out of his belly. He shall suck the poison of asp, the viper's tongue shall slay him. Bear me just a minute. So he's going to vomit all them riches he gained, he's going to vomit that up. And it's spiritual because what? The economy is going boom, the inflation's going up. So you can see how things are going. Okay, this place is done, this place is through. Right? Alright, this place is done, man. Right? This place is finito. Right? The only thing we got to do now is just have faith.
What do you think Jesus' name is?
What do I think his name is? Yeah. No, I don't think his name is Yahawashi.
Yahweh.
His name ain't Jesus, his name ain't Yahweh, it's Yahawashi.
Yahawashi, I think I know.
Yeah, his name is, now you know, his name is Yahawashi. He delivers.
Wait,
not
Yahawah?
Yahawah, that's the name.
Yahweh is the Father.
Yes, and his son's name is Yahawashi. So his name is Yahawashi. Wa means and. Right? And Yahawashi. So say Yahawashi.
Yahawashi.
Yes. It's not Yeshua and it's not Jesus. Right? So we're going to go to James 5. Go to now.
Blessings, yeah?
Alright, yes, man. Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl, for your misery shall come upon you. So the rich men are the elites. They're the rich men of this society. Right? It says weep and howl. Okay? So the rich men are going to be weeping and howling. Okay, why? Because everything they attained is going to what? Go. They're going to lose it. Okay, weep and howl. Okay, for your miseries. So there's going to be great miseries upon these people. Right? And a lot of these buildings, a lot of your businesses, they're going to close down anyway. You're building up your businesses, but they're going to shut down. This whole economy is going to go boom. You see the inflation, the market, it's all designed that way. The elites want that to happen. The elites, they're going to crush the market completely. Your riches are corrupted, okay? And your garments are moth-eaten. So all the riches within the society, they're corrupted. They're not going to do you anything. Now, some may say, well, should I invest in gold? I wouldn't say you invest in gold. Well, you can, but investing in gold is not going to save you, is it? It's really, you want to invest in faith. That's what you want to invest in, faith, not gold. Okay? And it says, Baba Kishah, your riches are corrupted. Okay? Your garments are moth-eaten. So all them riches are going to be corrupted. And then garments are going to be moth-eaten. Okay? Your gold and silver is cankered, which means corrupted, and your wrath of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. You have heaped treasure together for the last days. So all this treasure has been reaped for the last days. Everything that's been gathered up. All these businesses, they're going to shut down. Yeah, you can invest in your businesses, but they're going to shut down. Right? It's inevitable. Seeing this whole town is going to be a ghost town. Hello there. Right? This town's going to be a ghost town. You got a pretty smile. This town is going to be a ghost town. Right? All businesses are going to be shut down. And this is what we're warning you about. Okay? So now let's go to Matthew 6 and 19. Come on. This is Matthew 6 and 19. This is what we want to lay up. Matthew 6 and 19. Lay not up for yourselves treasures. Right? Listen. Lay up not for yourselves treasures upon earth where moth and rust have corrupt. And where thieves break through and steal. Thieves can break through and steal this truth. It's like a thieves can break through and steal anything. Your corrupt materials. Right? And it says, where men can what? Steal, break through and steal. So they can steal your tangible things. But lay up for yourselves treasures in heaven. That's what you want to lay up. Where neither moth nor rust have corrupt. Bro, this means everything. This is what we want to lay up. See, right now, what I'm doing, I'm laying up spiritual treasures in heaven. Between me and the Heavenly Father. And them angels are making an account. You done this, you done that. You put in that time. This is what we want to lay up. Okay? Where neither moth nor rust have corrupt. So moth and rust can't corrupt these spiritual treasures. And where thieves do not break through and steal. Thieves cannot break through and steal this word. They can't steal this. But it does say in John 10 and 10, the thief cometh not but to steal, to stray, and to kill. But he cannot steal what you've worked for, this spiritual blessing. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. So we want this to be our treasure. Is this where our heart should be? So now we went to that, Baba Kishah. Right? Let's go to John. Okay? All these businesses are going to shut down, and later on, I don't want to go into it now because really that was a lesson for later on. Okay? So let's go back to Job 20 and 16. He shall suck the poison of asps, which is snakes. The viper's tongue shall slay him. He shall not see the rivers and the floods and the brooks and the honeys of butter. Esau ain't going to experience the joy of the kingdom. He's going to be building up the kingdom. Right? And in the bro, there's going to be soon where you ain't going to be able to get on your phone and message your demonic networks. You ain't going to be able to do that soon. Right? The martial law troops are going to go up outside your head. Right? You ain't going to be able to go to the hair salon. You ain't going to be able to go to the hair salon. Right? Get your nails done. You ain't going to be able to do that. Let's go to Job 20 and 18. right? And you're going to be looking ugly. You ain't going to have no makeup on, none of that. Let's go to Job 20 and 18. That which he labored for shall he restore. This man's going to restore everything he labored for, everything. It's all going to be given back. Thank you, sister. Everything's going to be given back. That which he labored for shall he restore. It's all going to be restored. Everything. Everything he stole. Because how would his kingdom built up? By rape, robbery, murder. Everything he's going to restore. Everything. All them riches. You're going to restore them. And he shall not swallow it down. Because they don't really tell you how London was built up. How was London built? Through slavery, right? And it says, and they want to remove that from your textbooks as well. I don't think they're teaching that to your children in schools, right? And according to his substance shall the restitution be, and he shall not rejoice therein. Verse 19, because ye have oppressed and have forsaken the poor, because ye have violently taken away a house which he builded not. Go to Micah. So this man has violently taken away a house which he builded not. And guess what? He can do that. The elites can do that. Why? Because they have the funding to do it. Go to Micah. This is Micah 2. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. So the elites, they're devising iniquity upon their beds. And the witches and warlocks, they're devising iniquity as well upon their beds. As soon as it's the morning is light, they practice it. Witchcraft, sorcery. Because this is what this kingdom is built upon. When the morning is light, they practice it. Because it is in the power of their hand. Who? The elites. So they practice this skullduggery. Why? Because it's in the power of their hands to do it. And it's not just witches, it's warlocks, and your everyday people. They practice wickedness. They practice deception. Right? They practice skullduggery. Because it's in the power of their hands to do it. And if the rulers are wicked, that means the people that are under them, they will be wicked as well. That's why you got people on their phones, on demonic networks, that send messages to other demons, right? Because they hate the words. But guess what? The Lord set them up to do that. Right? Yeah, you're still useless. This Micah 2. Right? And they covet fields and take them by violence. So they coveting fields. They're robbing and they're taking them by violence. Because the elites have enough money to do that. Right? They control towns, they control cities, they control countries, they control nations. So if you control a nation, you control its government. If you control a government, you control the laws. If you control the laws, you can manipulate things to a certain extent. Okay? And it says these people, they can't even keep a straight face. Right? It's terrible. These people are terrible. They can't even keep a straight face when they walk past you. And it says, and they covet fields, and they take them by violence, and houses, and they take them away. So they oppress a man in his house and his heritage. So you got houses being oppressed, villages being oppressed, towns being oppressed by who? Satan himself. And the physical demon Satan as well. Right? Because that's what they do. They oppress a man in his heritage. That's why you got refugees. Okay? Why do you think you got refugees? Because they're seeking refuge in another land, in another town. They're not refugees because they want to be refugees. They're refugees because you went into that land and you destroyed it. That's why they're refugees. Right? Therefore, they wouldn't be refugees if you didn't go into their land. Right? Hello there, honey. You're right. And it says, let's go to Job 21, 120 still. Because you have oppressed, right? And have forsaken the poor, because you have violently taken away a house which he builded not. This man is an oppressor, he's oppressing. And he oppresses houses, whole households. Esau, he has the money to, if he wants to, he can really buy you out. He can buy your whole city out. Because remember, we're talking about the elites, the so-called 1%. that control everything. We're talking about the banking elite families. We're not talking about Warren Buffett or Bill Gates. They got chump change according to the elites. They got chump change, right? It's the bankers that are calling the shots, right? Which are known as the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, and the DuPonts, and the Collins. You've got many, and the Gettys. There's many of them. There's 13 banking families that run this world, and they're the ones calling the shots, right? And it says, right? Check this out. Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. He shall not save that which he desires. So there ain't going to be no quietness. And he's not going to save which he desired, right? At all. Okay? And it says, there shall none of his meat be left. None. What's his meat? His meat is what? His goods. None of that is going to be left. And it says, Baba Kishah, in the fullness of his sufficiency, okay, he shall be in straits. Okay? See, all these people know each other. They all know each other. Because see, it's a demonic network. Demons communicate with each other. Okay? That's what demons do. That's why they might not even know each other, but they know each other because demons know each other. That's why he just nodded his head at that woman. Right? See, this is all spiritual. All spiritual. That's why I posted that clip yesterday. Right? Of falling. Right? When people were walking past each other, and then demons, they basically were what? Working off each other. Okay? And it says, surely he shall feel no quietness in his belly. Right? Check this out. He shall not save. Right? He shall not save. Of that which he desired. So none of it's going to be saved. Okay? Where shall none of his meat be left, therefore shall no man look for his goods. So, there's going to be no need to look for his goods because there's going to be no goods left. After that fire hits, there is going to be no goods. Okay? And it says, Baba Kishah, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall be upon him. Every single hand is going to be upon Esau. So we might as well go into that as well. Every hand of the wicked shall be upon him. Go to Joel. This is Joel. Right? We got Joel. And, excuse me just a minute. 11. It says, assemble yourselves and come all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Diva, cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord Yahawashi. Let the heathen be awakened, and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Put ye in the sickle, for the harvest is ripe. Come get ye down, for the press is full. The fats overflow, for their wickedness is great. And when you go to verse 10, it talks about beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. So the weak nations will be what? Pakistan, India, Libya, right? What? Turkey. Now they're strong because they have military might. And verse 14, multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision. For the day of the Lord Yahawah is near in the valley of decision. The sun and the moon shall be darkened. The stars shall withdraw their shining. The Lord Yahawah also shall roar out of Zion. And it says, and utter his voice from Jerusalem. And the heavens and the earth shall shake. But the Lord Yahawah will be the hope of his people. Yes.
You're doing a terribly good job. God bless you.
I'm doing a terribly good job.
Yeah, God bless you.
Well, I'd rather you say I'm doing a good job, not terribly.
Okay, you're doing a good job.
Thank you very much. Are you a Christian?
Yeah, I'm a Christian.
Okay. Well, you know what we're teaching? I'm teaching the 12 tribes of Israel that descend from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Salvation is for them and those that have faith, but not all of our people are going to make it on this side. You know about 144,000 and the 1/3.
So we are praying for everyone.
No, that's the only thing. I'm not praying for everyone. The Lord only came for the nation of Israel. He didn't come for everyone. Right? When you read John 3:16, it says he gave his own only begotten son to die for the world. There's different definitions for that world. So you have the world cosmos and you have the world within Israel. So he died for Israel, but those that have faith. Thank you, sister, for your good words as well. And it says, Baba Kusha.
What you said in the internet,
Right.
you know, preach naturally.
I am.
Preach naturally.
I am. I am. I am preaching naturally.
Why you want to put that in YouTube and bullshit?
And it says, Baba Kusha. This is Joel 3. So the nations are all going to come together to roll out of Zion. Okay? And after his voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth shall shake, but the Lord Yahawah shall be the hope of his people. So the Lord Yahawah is the hope of our people, and the strength for the children of Israel. So shall you know that I am the Lord Yahawah, thy power, that dwell in Zion, my holy mountain. Right? When shall Jerusalem be holy? And there shall no strangers pass through her anymore. So all this needs to go down. Before salvation is here, what needs to happen? This place needs to be destroyed first. Okay? Bear me just a minute. That's what needs to happen first. Okay?
My little brother, I love you.
Okay?
Believe in what you do.
Okay.
That's your fact.
So, let's go to Isaiah
Part of it.
61. The Spirit of the Lord Yahawashi is upon me, because the Lord have anointed me. Right?
Because you were indicted by him.
Yes, by Yahawashi.
Yeah. The highest place himself.
I'm sorry about last time as well. Right?
Don't worry about it. Our hearts speak for ourselves.
Alright, yes.
Eh?
Yeah.
You have a faith. You love him. That's why I can't say nothing. For then speak and speak highly about him.
Yes. Thank you. The Spirit of the Lord Yahawashi is upon me, because the Lord have anointed me. Right? To preach good tidings unto the meek. He have sent me to bind up the brokenhearted. So that's what we have to do, bind up the brokenhearted. Those of our people that are broken. Okay? And you can see how people are brokenhearted. To proclaim liberty to the captive. So we're proclaiming liberty to our people that are captive in the mind. An opening of the prison to them that are bound. So this is a prison. So we're opening and freeing our people from this prison that we are in. But we're freeing our people spiritually. Okay? And to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord Yahawah, and a day of vengeance. So that's what we're doing. We're proclaiming the day of the Lord Yahawah and the day of his vengeance. And the Lord is coming back with vengeance, our power. And it's not too long. It's not the time to have 20 years, 10-year plans. This place hasn't got too long. Okay? And it says, to comfort all that mourn. So we're here to comfort those that are mourning. Right? So those of you that are mourning, that's why we're here to comfort you. Right? We're not here to comfort those that are all joyous and mirth and that are million trillionaires. We're here to comfort the poor, the meek, and the brokenhearted. To appoint them that mourn in Zion, to give them beauty for ashes, and oil for joy, for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness. So we can turn people's heaviness into what? Joy, just through this word alone. Right? Because our people need hope. Because our people are walking around here without any hope. Okay? And it says that they may be called the trees of righteousness, because our people were also known as trees of righteousness. Alright? And it says, Baba Kasha, the planting of the Lord Yahawah, that he might be glorified, and they shall build the old waste. It says the old waste. So All this is going to be wasted, but it's going to be built up again. But this is after the missiles hit. So the missiles got to hit first, and it's going to be a lot of fire. It's going to hit America, but it's going to be built up again. Okay? And they shall raise up the former desolations, and they shall repair. So who's going to build up our kingdom? Slaves. We're going to have slaves. Nothing's wrong with having slaves. They're just a right order in how you treat them. Okay? And there's more. And they shall repair the waste cities. Okay? So the waste cities are going to be repaired. And it says, Babakashah, and the desolations of many generations. So, yeah, the cities are going to be, except America ain't going to be built up. That's going to be a constant desolation. A constant desolation. Everywhere else is going to be built up. Alright? So we went to that. I'm thinking, what else can we go to? What else? Because I want to go more on that nuclear war and how it's all going to come together. Oh, let's go to Jeremiah 51 and 20. Go to verse 24. And I will render unto Babylon. Babylon is America, code name. Mystery Babylon is America. Right? And to all the inhabitants of Chaldea. America goes by many names. America is known as Chaldea. America is known as Assyria, Egypt, right? Babylon, right? These are the different names for America. It has many code names, right? I will render unto Babylon and all the inhabitants of Chaldea, all their evil, right? That they have done in the sight of Zion, okay? Saith the Lord Yahawah, Yahawashi. Behold, I am against thee. So the Lord is against America. The Lord is not with America. You've got so many people that say that, oh, the Lord he's blessing America. And so the Lord is not blessing America. He's against America. Okay? And it says, I destroy the mountain, saith the Lord. So America is known as a mountain. And he's going to destroy that mountain as well. Okay? And it says, which destroyeth all the earth. So America is destroying the earth by its legislations. Right? By media. And then you switch on Sky News, switch on Sky News, switch on BBC News. These people believe anything that they see on the news. But guess what? Your newscasters are witches and warlocks. Your BBC newscasters are witches and warlocks and sorcerers. Right? And they're not actually teaching you the truth. They're teaching you lies. This is where you get the truth. What are the true newscasters? What are the ones that are really bringing you the truth of what's happening every day? Right? Now they're newscasters. They're casting spells upon you. Right? That's what they're doing. Okay? And it says, Babakashah, and which destroys all the earth, and I will stretch out my hand upon thee. So the Lord Yahawah is stretching his hand upon America, upon Babylon. He's stretching his hand upon it. Right? And it says, where was I? And I will roll thee down from the rocks. So the Lord's going to roll you down from the rocks, from that higher state. Okay? And I will make thee a burnt mountain, a burnt government. All right, there. That's what the Lord's going to do. Make thee a burnt mountain. That burnt mountain represents America. Right? And it says, Babakashah, and they shall not take thee a stone for a corner, not a stone for foundations, but I shall be a desolate forever, said the Lord. So bear me just a minute. Stay right there. Go to Isaiah 30. Okay? Go Isaiah 30. All right, here we go. This is Isaiah 30. 34. Come ye nations. Okay. To hear. And hearken ye people. Okay. Let the earth hear. And that is in therein, the world and all the things that come forth of it. Okay. For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations. So the indignation is that wrath is upon all nations. You see what's going on with Russia, Iran, Ukraine, right? All these nations are going to come together. It's all going to get really, really, really bad out here. All these nations, they're going to gather up for that final world war, right? And it's prophecy. We're just waiting for it to happen, okay? And it says, Babakasha, for the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and his fury upon their armies. He hath utterly destroyed them, right? He hath delivered them to the slaughter. Their slain also shall be cast out, and their stink shall come up out of their carcasses. So there's going to be a lot of bodies smelling. And the mountains shall be melted with their blood, and all the host of heaven shall be dissolved. The host of heaven is the armies. They're going to perish. Okay? Shall be dissolved. And it says, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll. So what does it mean the heavens are going to be rolled together as a scroll? That's talking about that mushroom cloud. When the missiles hit, it forms a mushroom cloud. Okay? That cloud envelops. And it says, Babakasha, where was I? Isaiah 30. So lucky I lost it. It's Isaiah 30. Right? This is Isaiah 34. Right? And jump straight to verse 4. And the heavens shall be scrolled together as a roll. Key thing, as a roll. Okay? Together as a scroll. And all. Key thing. And all the hosts shall fall down. The hosts are the armies. The hosts are going to fall. Okay? All the hosts, which represents the armies. As a leaf falleth from off the vine. So you're going to have helicopters, planes falling from the sky. Right? In this final world war. And as a falling fig from the fig tree. Verse 5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven, right? In the spiritual realm, right? The Lord's going to bathe that sword in the heavens, okay? You can look at your handlers, but your handlers ain't going to save you, okay? And it says, behold, it shall come down upon the people of my curse to judgment, right? And the people, who's that? Esau, right? Men are people that are not right. The sword is filled, check this out, with the blood. It is made with the fat, right? With fatness, with the blood of lambs. So that fatness and the blood of lambs, what does that represent? The fatness of lambs. The lambs are what? People. And goats. With the fat of kidneys. Of rams. For the Lord have made a sacrifice in Bozrah. Bozrah is another name for America, ancient Bozrah. And a great slaughter, right? In the land of Idumea. So yeah, there's going to be a great slaughter in that land of Idumea. Who are the modern day Idumeans? Esau. And the unicorn shall come down with them, and the bullocks with the bulls in their land shall be soaked with blood. This represents people, by the way. And their dust made fat with fatness. Okay? And it says, and the unicorn shall come down with them. Verse 8. For it is the day of the Lord's vengeance and the year of recompenses. So the Lord's coming back with recompense. Right? That's what the Lord's coming back with. Great recompense. Right? Judgment. Hello there, sir. Right? Yes, I remember you from last time. So the Lord's coming back with what? Vengeance. And the year of recompense for the controversy of Zion. So what's the controversy of Zion? The nations that had us in slavery. And the streams thereof shall be turned into pitch. Pitch is tar. And how is that going to be done? Through fire. When you have a volcano, what is that volcano? Pitch. And the dust thereof into brimstone. And the land thereof shall become a burning pitch. So how is it going to become a burning pitch? Through nuclear war. And your pastors ain't telling you that. Your pastors are robbing you. Right? Okay. And the pastors, they always walk past. Because a lot of your pastors, they're involved in gang stalking as well. They stalk you because you're messing up their money. They don't like that. Because when I'm out here, when I'm teaching this truth, this is messing up the pastors' money. The pastors don't want me out here. Because the pastors are teaching you prosperity preaching. Lies.
They are.
That's why they send their agents out here to try and get me off the streets. Because I'm messing up their money. And that's good. Because they shouldn't be teaching lies to their congregation. And it says, it shall not be quenched. So that fire is not going to be quenched. It's not going to be put out. Night nor day. It's going to be a long fire. America's going to be hit by permanent nuclear destruction. Watch that movie Terminator at the end scene with Sarah O'Connor. How was that man able to put that all into that movie? Because he was reading the Bible. He read Revelations. And Sarah O'Connor, she was looking at them children in the playground. And what happened? That fire burnt that region up. And she got burnt into what? Crisp. And it says, it shall not be quenched night nor day. Nobody's going to be able to put it out. Your firemen are not going to be able to put that fire out. And it says, the smoke thereof shall go up forever. Forever, it doesn't mean forever, for a long time. From generation to generation. It shall lie waste. America is not going to be inhabited ever, ever again. Once their missiles hit. None shall pass through it. Ever, forever. But the cormorant and the bittern shall possess it. Also the owl, so these are unclean birds that are going to possess that region. And the raven shall dwell in it. And he shall stretch out upon it the line of confusion. And the stones of the emptiness. So the lines of confusion, you're not going to know where Philadelphia is and LA. You're not going to know where these states were. It's going to be completely unrecognizable. And the thorn shall come up in her palaces, nettles and brambles in her fortresses. So everything's going to grow back again. Whereof, and it shall be a habitation of dragons. So yeah, it's going to be a great habitation of those dragons, the wild beasts of the islands, right? And the wild beasts are going to have a field day, and the birds. The birds are going to have a field day as well, right? The animals are going to have a good field day, okay? And America is not going to be inhabited, okay, ever, ever again. And some may say, well, that's a bit extreme. Yeah, it's extreme, but this needs to happen so the elect can be sealed, which they elect. I believe the elect, they're not sealed yet, because if they were sealed, we wouldn't still be out here. So the elect, they still need sealing. The seven seals, which is mentioned in Revelations. So the seven seals are the book as well, and
It's a whole book.
oh yeah, yeah,
It turned into the mind and the heart.
yeah.
The whole, so you know it. You know God. You basically know God. You
Right.
know His book. You know who He is. You know, yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Oh,
Seven
yeah.
seals.
The seven seals that were once closed in Daniel. It says,
They were closed, but then they were opened by a man.
yep. And guess who that man is?
Who?
Yahawashi, the Messiah. Mentioned that in Revelations 5. He was worthy to open the book.
He opened the book
And that had the seven seals that was slain before the foundation
of the earth.
of the earth. See, I can paraphrase it, and that's what we need to do. That's why we need to keep going over these scriptures so you can so it sinks in. Okay.
That's all that is, yeah.
So what else have we got? We got Isaiah 34. and 12. They shall call the nobles thereof to the kingdom. So the nobles are the elites. They're going to be called to the kingdom. But none shall be there. There's going to be no one there because the elites, they're going to be gathered up. The elites are going to be left alive. Because they need to be left alive so they can be brought into slavery. We're talking about the rough tribes. The bankers, they're going to be kept alive. They're going to be in secret bunkers. Yes, if you didn't know, this is secret knowledge. The elites have secret underground bases. Right? Yeah, we got underground cities underneath here. Most people wouldn't even realize that. They have underground cities. They just talk about Area 51. That's just one military base. There's many. They have underground cities in all around Europe. They have these underground cities. Right? Because the elites, they don't really want to set up base in America, so they flee to Europe. They got underground cities, trains, waters, buildings, chandeliers, the whole lot. But they're not going to tell you about this because they don't want you to know. And why have they got these things? Because they know that the Messiah is coming. That's why. And they're going to try to hide from him when he comes. So they know about the return of the Messiah. Okay? And it says, and the wild beast of the desert shall meet with the wild beast of the island. The shepherd shall cry to his fellow. And it says, and the screech shall owl. Also shall rest there and find for herself a place of rest. Where shall the great owl make her nest and lay her hatch, and great under her shadow? Where shall the vultures also be gathered together? Everyone with her mate. So this is what's going to happen. And it tells us in, I think it's Revelations 6. Go to Revelation 6 and 6, I believe it is. That the elites, they're going to be hiding in these bases. Go to Revelations 6 and 16. This is Revelations, we go to verse 12. And I beheld, when he had opened the sixth seal, lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood, and the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs, when she is shaken of a mighty wind. So the stars of heaven fell upon earth. And you're also going to have angels, okay? And the heaven departed as a scroll. So when it said the heaven departed as a scroll, they're talking about that mushroom cloud, okay? It departed as a scroll when it is rolled together. And every mountain and island were moved out of their places. So even the mountains and these islands are going to be moved all out of places. That means there's going to be earthquakes on a high level. Okay? And earthquakes, what do earthquakes create? Tsunamis. So there's also going to be tsunamis as well. All these things. Right? Fires, tsunamis, earthquakes. You got these people running to their handlers. What a bloody mess. Right? And it says Baba Kusha. We can't really get mad at them. That's what they're told to do. Right? But it shows you how society is highly organized. You got people running to their handlers. They're getting told when to leave. Me, I'm free in Yahawashi. Yahawashi, the Messiah, is my handler. I don't get told what colors to wear, when to leave a building. That means you're not free. If you're getting told when to leave a building, what to wear, right? I never realized because I was naive, people actually have handlers, right? And I probably had that. Yeah, I probably did have a handler when I was younger, but now I'm woken up to it. Now I'm free, and they hate that. Because they don't want our people to be free. They want us to be slaves to this matrix. That's what they want us to be. But once you wake up to this truth, we are free from this matrix.
Lovely.
Okay? And it says, Baba Kusha, Revelations 16. Okay? Revelation 16 and 15. And the kings of the earth. Okay? And the great men. And the rich men. So you're going to have the kings of the earth, which are the world leaders. And the rich men. And the chief captains, the war, the military. And the mighty men and every bondman. And every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, the modern day rocks of the mountains. What do these buildings look like from far away? They look like mountains. Type in Mount Petra when you have the time. Type in Mount Petra and it looks exactly the same. Mount Petra was south of, I believe it was south of Jordan, and it has all little holes and circles. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've been there.
Mount Petra.
Yeah.
It's basically a mountain that's been carved out. So these buildings are mountains that have been carved out. Going back to Mount Petra, type that word in if you have internet access. This is what it all goes back to. Nothing is new underneath the sun. Everything, nothing is new. So we're actually living in modern day mountains. Your house is a mountain, right? Because really we were known for living in tents. Okay? And it says, Baba Kishar, where was I? And the kings of the earth, and hid themselves in the dens and the rocks of the mountains. And that's what the elites are going to do. They're going to hide themselves. And they're going to hide themselves from the Messiah. Right? And said to the mountains and the rocks, fall on us. So they're going to want to be hidden. And hide us from the face of him that sitteth upon the throne. And of the Lamb. So they're going to be hiding from him that is on the throne. Okay? It's going to be real. Let's see what else we got. Let's see what else we got. And that's why they're building space stations.
Yeah.
Because they want to fight against the Messiah and the angels. But the angels, you can't fight against the angels.
You can't play something you can't kill.
You can't kill angels, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, precisely. It's stupid. Go ahead.
They can defy the laws of physics. They can manipulate, angels can manipulate their appearance. Right? And we're seeing more angels. I see angels every other day. Or should I say I see chariots. So let's go to Malachi. 1. The burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi. The reason why it was a burden because it weighed the people down. That's why it was a burden. These prophecies, sometimes it can weigh us down. And it says, I have loved you, saith the Lord, yet you say, wherein hast thou loved us? So a lot of our people say that. I've loved you, saith the Lord, but wherein hast thou loved us? Our people always say that, but the Lord does love you, right? And it says, was not Esau Jacob's brother? You had two brothers, Jacob and Esau. Jacob came out normal. Esau came out red and hairy. And it says, was not Esau Jacob's brother, said the Lord, yet I loved Jacob. Jacob, you know. Jacob was the progenitor of Israel. So the Lord loved Jacob, which name was changed to Israel when he wrestled with the angel. Okay? And I hated Esau. Esau was hated. So Esau is hated. A lot of people say the Lord doesn't hate a nation. The Lord hates Esau. Who is Esau? The so-called white people that call themselves Europeans today. I know it's hard to believe. Yeah, he hates Esau. There's no salvation for Esau. And it said, and laid his mountains, these are the mountains, the governments, and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Verse 4, whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, okay, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. So this man is building, but the Lord is going to throw right back down. And it says, they shall call him the border of wickedness. Because anywhere Esau goes, wickedness follows him. Okay? And the people against whom the Lord have indignation forever. So the Lord Yahawah has indignation against Esau forever. Esau cannot be saved. Right? And your eyes shall see and shall say, the Lord will be magnified from the borders of Israel. So the Lord Yahawashi is going to be what? Magnified. Right? Before all nations. So we went to that. See what else we can get. All right.
I'm good, thank you. I just wanted to ask, the insect, why you were running the insect?
To get them good vibes. You know?
Fleet setting it.
Also,
It's a biblical.
You know the Feast of Tabernacles?
Yeah, I know about the Feast of Tabernacles. I'm fully Jewish, don't worry.
I've already celebrated that already.
Really? Is it happened already?
Yeah, well, I'm part of a congregation, so I've already partook in the Feast of Tabernacles.
Oh, I thought end of this month.
What congregation are you part of, sorry?
Well, I'm part of a camp called Great Millstone.
Okay. Okay, so what day do you guys worship?
I worship the Lord every day.
Every day.
I
Every
know.
day.
But what day do you take out to be the holy day?
Every
This
day.
isn't you because
Every day is a holy day to me.
He's
I
totally
know, every day.
committed.
But you know what?
I mean,
I'll
so-
say this: it's whatever I do is a rehearsal. The Sabbath is not Friday sundown to Saturday sundown.
No, it's every day, every second, every
That's
minute of
based
the world.
on the new- that's based on the new moon.
Yeah, of course
Right?
it is.
Yeah.
So I keep
Yeah.
the Sabbath to the best of my ability. If you can't keep the Sabbath, you just keep it another day. It's a rehearsal. Now, the Passover is during Easter, the Passat,
Yeah.
Pesach,
They call it
yeah,
Easter, it's the
Pesach.
Passat.
Yeah, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And that's when you celebrate the Feast of Unleavened Bread. What's the difference between the Passover and the Feast of Unleavened Bread?
The unleavened bread is
I'm gonna answer it. There's no difference. It's the same thing.
It's the same
You
thing,
eat
yeah.
no unleavened bread
goes
during
into
the-
one.
during the
you
Passover.
don't
Yeah,
eat
Passover,
unleavened
yeah.
bread, but also in spiritually, it just means for us to be clean.
What
And-
church do you go to?
Well, we do just like we have a group. We have
No,
a
you have a
group
group. You
online.
just have your own group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do it
You keep
online.
Shabbat. Yeah, Shabbat.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all right. Then. That's good.
That's a
Because
start,
that's a good start.
Yeah, and I'm in
That was a
between
good
because
start.
my dad's brought up Jehovah's Witness.
Oh.
My mum's brought up 7-day Adventist.
Yeah,
Man.
I just find my own. So I do Bible study at the moment, but
Yeah.
I told my uncle just because I'm doing Bible study doesn't mean I'm going to be a 7-day Adventist.
No, why should you be a celebrity?
That's me, so I can understand myself.
A lot of them copped out of it all anyway. They had a lot of truth.
But I want to continue with this. Anyway. I've
Yeah,
got
you're gonna
something
continue.
for you. This is Colossians 2,
Yeah.
and I want to start straight at verse 14. Blotting out the handwriting of ordinances that was against us, which was contrary to us. So, what was the handwriting, if I may ask you?
The handwriting that was against us.
And took it out of the way, nailing it to the cross. So, what was
That's the sin that was against us.
which is according to the old law,
Law,
the old covenant.
613
Yeah.
laws.
You
yeah.
believe in the old covenant and the new covenant, right?
I believe in
But all of
the-
it.
I believe in
because
both of
I
The whole
believe,
lot.
I believe it says to us that if you love me, keep my commandment. And it
Yeah.
also says that he has not come to destroy the law, but he only
To
came
fulfill
to
the law.
fulfill the law.
Yeah.
So him fulfilling the law doesn't mean you should not keep
Every
the law.
All right, I hear that.
Yeah.
You should not keep the law. There are things he came and he took over, which was the sacrificial lamb. When he used himself as the sacrificial lamb in human form, which Jesus Christ is the Lord in human form. So which is the sacrificial
All
lamb.
right, yeah, that's a good answer.
Yeah.
I've got something. And having spoiled principalities, you know what, let me explain this. When it says he took it out of the way, nailing it to the cross, the old covenant was taken out. So now you know what, under the new covenant, we don't need to do old sacrifices.
No.
Which
We
is
don't
the
need turtle doves.
You don't
sacrifice,
need
the
to, but
dove,
we don't
the
need to do
lamb.
none of that.
But the
we'll
one
come
of
back.
keeping the Sabbath,
Yeah.
That is
and
different.
that's
Yeah,
not
so
going to
that's-
change.
that's
The
not-
one
yeah,
of
there's no
obeying your
negotiation with that.
parents, so your days may be long. That's not changing.
Oh, yeah.
The one of loving,
change.
don't,
Being kind, all of
don't,
that, that's not changing.
yeah,
No, of course not.
do
That's
not
the
steal,
attitude.
do
Yeah.
not do your neighbor whatever what is not
Yeah.
of your neighbors. So that is not changed.
That should
What
stay with God,
changed
yeah.
is the one of sacrificing, because he used his own blood to sacrifice, to do the
To
whole
pay.
sacrifice,
To pay for the
to pay for the
debts
sins.
paid for them.
Well, I got something. Let no man therefore judge you in meat or in drink or in respect of any holy day. Why?
Why? Because people think they should continue eating the pork now and all the thing because Jesus Christ has come and died. So where he told us not to eat the food.
I want to continue because you know what? I was on a roll. No disrespect, but you know what? You're taking, you know what? All the new moon, all the Sabbath days, which are a shadow of things to come. But my body is a Mashiach, so all these things we keep is a shadow of things to come. It's a rehearsal. So if you don't keep
That's
it,
what we live in. We're living in rehearsal. But the only thing we have to be very careful. We have to be very careful for us not to sin. When we're living in this rehearsal life, we have.
but we're gonna sin. That's what we're gonna
I know, but
sin.
the only difference between myself
but
and
then,
ourselves
excuse me,
and
then
Jesus
there's
is
a
that he had
song,
the
David
Holy
said, my
Spirit.
sins
I've got
always
something, because you know what? No disrespect, but I wanna let the scriptures come out.
Yeah.
Okay? Because that's where the power is.
Of course.
It says
What Bible are you reading
It
from?
says-
King James Version. This is the most
It
accurate
said
version.
See, I used to think it was good.
Yeah?
It's not. King James Version's whack. It's taking out
No,
most of the words.
No,
Most
it's
of the words that was there.
No,
See, this is what we're not going to do. I want to let the scriptures come out. Let no
I
man
have
regale
a
you of your
King James
rewards
myself.
or voluntary humility or worshiping of angels, intruding into those things which you have not seen, vainly puffed up by his fleshly mind. And holding the head, who's the head? The Messiah, from which all body of joints and bands having nourishment, measured and knit together, increase with the increase of the Most High. Wherefore, if you be dead with Mashiach from the rudiments of this world, why, as though living in the world, are you subject to ordinances? Jump verse to 23, which things have a show, indeed a show of wisdom, inward worship and humility, and neglecting of the body, not in honor to the satisfying of the flesh. Because you had the Pharisees that were doing it to satisfy the flesh, to show off. Look what we're
Look what we're
doing.
doing with big thrash and
That's it.
all that stuff.
That's the thing. You're going to go off. We're going to sin. But
Yeah.
But Jesus Christ came and died for sinners.
He
Not
died,
for,
he did die for
But
sinners,
who were
for
the,
saints,
that's
isn't
another thing, but who were the sinners? Everyone?
Everyone sinned, all the sins and all the
No,
death.
but that's just what this is where I differ from the world, because no, he didn't. Who were the sinners? Who can sin? I've got something. Go to Psalms, because this is where
not everyone.
Psalms
Because-
147.
because,
Not everyone can sin.
is Elijah went up because if he was a sinner, he wouldn't have gone in a chariot. But
The flesh, right? Human sin in their mind.
of course,
Because they're the way they're created, right? But you see, because your spiritual aspect, you've got two divisions. You have a spirit and you have the carnal mind.
yeah.
If we could get rid of our carnal minds, which we can't right, at the moment, because of the state we're in, and then minds are being changed by education, by teaching and learning the scriptures. That's the way it happens. Because in all Judaism, because I'm Jewish, right, all we learn is the scriptures. And they have to be absolutely accurate as possible, nearest to what Moses had. Right? In Judaism, they've only got the 5 books, right? They have to be perfect to the best of the ability. They have to be written so perfect.
It has to be
Every
like
word,
Enoch.
every word.
That's why I said that. I have the same Bible at home, but what I realised whilst I'm reading through the scriptures, if I'm doing Bible study with somebody else, the only thing I don't like on the New King James has been changed so many times is there's certain parts, like the end word or something will be completely different, which interprets it very differently. Yes.
But you see, the thing is, God looks at you, at your heart, and
I
looks at
think
you
that's
to
why
know
there
according
are
to your
other
understanding.
books. There are other books that is called.
You know?
They're taking some books out of the Bible.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I don't.
Galatians.
God
This is
looks at
Galatians. This is
God looks at
Galatians
you
5.
according to your
And jump
understanding.
straight to
It
verse.
doesn't, you know what I mean? It's
Let's go. 16. This I say then, walk in the spirit. So we're supposed to be walking in the spirit of Yahawashi. And you shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. So it's simple. Just walk according to the spirit of these scriptures. And you're not going to walk according to the spirit of the flesh. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. So that's a constant battle.
It's a war.
It's a war. It's a
It's
tug
a
of
war.
war.
It's a mind between them, you know, your mind
And
and
these
your
are
flesh.
contrary one to the other, so that you cannot do the things that you would. But if you be led of the Spirit, you are not under the law. Why? Because you're doing things that are pertaining to the Spirit. And we're going to go into what the works of the Spirit are
The
as well.
difference between us and Jesus is that
Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, so committing
It doesn't mean
adultery,
that when he
that's
was
of the
here on
flesh,
this earth that he didn't have, but he did.
fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness,
Doesn't mean that he didn't
idolatry,
tempted.
witchcraft,
Yeah, of
hatred,
course.
variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions,
There's not
heresies,
really much difference except for the hope.
envyings, murders, drunkenness, revelings, such like, of which I tell you before, as I've also told you in time past, that they do which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of the Most High. Now verse 22, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy. These are commandments, by the way. Right?
Oh yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Peace.
Peace and yeah.
Long suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith. Verse 23, meekness, temperance. See, Satan's getting angry now. Meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law.
No, there's no law against that. Yeah.
Why? Because it's a law within itself.
Yeah.
Love,
Yeah.
peace, long suffering,
It's a law.
gentleness, goodness. So that's all you've got to practice. And you're in the ways of the law.
Yeah, cool.
That's all. That's the new law. I haven't finished yet. And they that are Mashiachs have crucified the flesh with the affections of the lust. If we live in the Spirit, let us walk in the Spirit. So that's what I'm doing, walking in the Spirit to the best of my ability.
Yeah.
Okay, so what would you
Because
say
you've got to consider yourself
what would you
dead
say
to the
to
flesh,
this?
dead to your own mind.
1 Peter 3 verse 3.
1 Peter 3 verse 3. In just a minute. First Peter 3 verse 3, whose adorning, let it not be the outward. Is this it? Adorning of plaiting of the hair and wearing of gold or putting on apparel. Let me read from the top to get the whole meaning.
Okay.
Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands. That if any obey not the word, they also may without the word be won by conversation of the wives, while they behold your chaste conversation, coupled with fair, whose adorning, let it not be the outward adorning of plaiting the hair or wearing of gold or putting on of apparel, but let it be with the hidden man of the heart, in which it is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit, which is in the sight of the Most High a great price. Why did you present me with this scripture? From
Okay. Well, it's for the women and also for the men, because he said we should not wear things.
Oh no. Men can wear jewelry.
Yeah.
Men can wear jewelry.
When-
Solomon was wearing jewelry. It's not against the law to wear jewelry.
Yes, it's
But
against.
if it's over excess, that's lasciviousness, right? But you can wear jewelry. Nowhere in the scripture doesn't say that. But the
Yeah, you
women,
can wear
I can back
Yeah,
up what
yeah.
you're saying. Excuse me, just a minute. Sorry to cut you off. I'm very well learned in these scriptures, by the way.
Oh yeah.
I know.
All right, what you were going to, right, is I might as well go to this, right? Well, what was your point? Are you saying I can't wear jewelry?
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna continue.
You
I'm
can.
gonna
I didn't see
continue.
that. Oh wait, you're wearing one ring.
Yeah, and where's my
I've got jewelry on. I mean, I've got bits and pieces, but I don't wear them much anyway.
Actually, that's a
chain?
lie.
Yeah, I love my gold. I like my gold.
That's why I said that's a lie.
Yeah, no, you can have gold. You can have gold. That's according to the law. So you know what? You went to. What did you present before me? It was 1 Peter's 1.
1 Peter 3 verse
I've
3.
got silver as well. Precious metals, and they're all in
I'll read this again. Likewise, ye wives, being in subjection to your own husbands, that if you obey not the word, they also may be without the word, won by a conversation of the wives, while they behold your chaste conversation coupled with fair, whose adorning, let it not be outward adorning of plaiting hair, or the wearing of gold, or of putting on apparel, but let it be the hidden man of the heart, in that which is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek, quiet spirit, which is in the sight of the Most High. So, what's the thing that we're supposed to do? They're supposed to be meek, right, and obey their husbands on all that flashy. I'll go into it. Let the scriptures speak. This is 1 Timothy 2. I exhort. This is 1 Timothy second chapter. I'll start with the men first, right? I exhort, therefore, that first of all supplications, prayers, intercessions, and giving of thanks be made for all men, for kings and for all that are in authority, that they may lead a quiet and peaceable life in all godliness and honesty. For this is good and acceptable in the sight of our Saviour, who will have all men to be saved and come to the knowledge of truth. For there is one power and one mediator between the Most High and men, with a man, Mashiach, who gave himself for a ransom for all to be testified in due time.
I'm sure they're talking about Jesus Christ there.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
But it's just talking about living a blameless life. I want to get to the point. Whereunto I'm ordained a preacher and an apostle, I speak truth in Mashiach, and I not a teacher of the Gentiles in faith verity. I therefore that men pray everywhere, lifting up holy hands without wrath and doubting. Now we get to the woman's part, verse 9. In like manner, also women adorn themselves in modest apparel. Modest. So women are supposed to what? Adorn themselves in modest apparel. So supposed to dress modestly.
So
A
you know,
dress.
okay, but I'm trying to figure out, right?
Yeah.
Yes, dress.
Yeah.
Wear trousers.
Yeah.
So the jewelry part, so you can't be modest and have earrings.
I'm gonna go to it. Let me
That's
finish.
what I'm trying to think.
Modest apparel. So you know what modest apparel is? Oh, you didn't like that, madam, did you?
To me, it's just patriarchy controlling women again, mate. That's what it
Well,
is.
what? Do you believe in feminism?
Black, bruv.
Do you believe in feminism?
Do you?
No. I believe a woman is under a man because that's the way it was set up. Alright, fair enough.
Love this dog, man.
In like manner, also that women adorn themselves in modest apparel with shamefacedness. So a woman's also supposed to be shamefacedness. You know, the women of today, not all, but some women, they look you in your face, get all up in your face. Women are supposed to be meek. You know what I'm saying?
Can I say something?
Yeah.
That's got nothing to do with scripture. That
No,
ties
I'm getting
that ties
into it.
into society. That part. No, I know what you're saying.
Oh,
I'm saying
what I'm
that what that part ties into society though, because most men aren't men right now, are they?
Oh, you're right.
So that's why women are now coming out of their femininity and going into the masculine
I hear
state.
what you're saying.
Yeah.
Hey, we're gonna get into Eve. We're gonna get shamefacedness, but who's the first one to sin? Eve. We're gonna get into that. With shamefacedness and sobriety, not with. I agree with what you're saying. That men need to play their role.
Yeah.
Not with broaded hair. Broaded hair is flattening of hair. All that's
I don't
flashy.
plait my hair.
Hey, that's good. Natural
She don't
hair.
play her kids' hair either.
It looks good as well. With broaded hair, that's all flashy, right? That's all flashy business. You know, Nicki Minaj and all that. And of gold or pearls or costly array, by which becometh women professing godliness with good works. So you're coming in that spirit. That's a good spirit to have. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. This is what a lot of women, that's when they don't like this one. But I do listen to this one. Yeah.
Because of let the woman learn in all subjection.
And silence.
Yeah. Those are for those, you have those kind of women in the church that they, those loud ones. You have women that are very loud.
Yes.
They are very outspoken
Yeah.
and everything. So because of that, there's always going to be draw in the church, and there are going to be arguments. Everybody wants to show off themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So Peter come up saying that because of that, they need to just be silent and obey. But it's nothing to do.
This is
with
actually
the
Timothy speaking, by the way.
Okay. Saying that they should listen to their husband and be silent.
That's the part that I'll object to. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna lie.
because
I'll object to
the
you know why
Lord
I'd
said,
object to it?
the Lord said, on the last day I will pour my flesh, I will pour my spirit upon all flesh.
And your daughters and men shall prophesy and see dreams. Acts 4. Yeah. But you know what?
So
when the daughters see dreams, it's for the men, mostly the men, to break that down. If they can't break it down themselves.
So now,
Yeah.
let's compare it with the time that we're living now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
wherein there are some homes there is no dad to lead the home. It's only the mother leading the home
Or
as a
there
father.
is a father involved, but they can't lead nothing. That was my objection,
This is all
right?
spiritual, what you're saying.
Like, what I'm supposed to lead, I'm supposed to be submissive, keep my mouth shut while you're leading me to the ground.
Well, what do you mean leading you to the ground?
I'm
What do you
talking
mean?
about, for example, there's some women in relationships that are not with no God-fearing man, and the woman's supposed to be submissive, And you're literally, for example, they're in debt, they're in this, but this is most society now because most men are not.
Alright, let me bring the scriptures out. It's interesting points that you're bringing out. It's interesting.
The problem of that, I think, is all the plan of the devil.
Oh yes.
That was all what he planned to make men become not useful in the eyes of women. Because if you still in Africa, there are some places in Africa, not in the city but in the province, you still have the wife still submit to the husband. You understand? But then they bring this internet and this phone has made the world just a little
Here what it
place.
says. If I may, let me just finish off on this. Which becometh women professing godliness with good works, let the women learn in silence with all subjection. You know why? Because from what I've seen, a lot of women, I've seen it, they bring confusion.
Of course.
They bring confusion.
Of course.
And it says, but I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. Right? But you know what? There's a balance, because there was one woman in the scriptures that Deborah, there was Deborah and other women as well that talk.
Deborah and,
Right?
and what's her name?
I've got more. Lemuel's mother. There's so much. And that woman that she nailed someone's head, and I forgot the Moabite kings.
Yes.
I forgot the name.
My point is, my only answer to you is Lamar. If I had been submissive, where would I be now?
No, I know. Deborah,
I'm so
I know
sorry.
the lady you were talking about. Just like also Esther, she also lead when it came for her to lead. That was leading.
Yeah.
When they were going to kill the all Israelite.
Oh yeah, she hid.
She had to lead through fasting and making sure that they did not kill the children of Israel. And I know the woman you're talking about.
If I may, let me just finish this off. I know you got a lot to say. You know, thinking that is wrong with that. It's just like speaking, isn't it? For Adam was first formed, then Eve. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in transgression. So you said to me, well, it's for the man to take responsibility. You're right, but the woman was deceived first. Why? Because she is naturally the weakest vessel. And it says, but the woman being deceived was in transgression, notwithstanding she shall be safe in childbearing. So if you have a man that's of the elect, you will be safe in childbearing. If they continue in faith, in charity, in holiness, in sobriety. So I hope I've cleared all that up with the woman. I hope that made sense.
The woman makes sense. I'm just saying, as if the man isn't on par with it. I'm just saying that it's not.
Concerning the man, you know what? See, you're saying,
we
you
know
know,
what the
I've got
man's
something
supposed to do, but the society we live in,
Yeah.
they're not doing it.
Yeah, I
so
know.
most women are getting dragged
They're
into
not-
worse situations than they already are, unless
they're
you're
not-
finding a God-fearing man.
Yeah.
They're not doing it because, let me say 90%.
You don't mind, you ain't. I'm quickly just gonna pan the camera.
Okay.
Okay.
95% of her are not, they're not godly. You understand? Because of the fact that many from, let me say, 1980 to 1990 to 2000 is children having children. And when you're in this country, when you're a 16-year-old, you have a child, you're free to go to the council, get a house.
Oh,
and
yeah, yeah.
stay
Yeah,
in
that's
the
an
house.
example of myself.
You understand? You have a home of your own now, and you don't have any understanding how to look after a home. There is no teaching. There is no parental teaching to say this is how you have to live your life.
Alright, I've got
You
something.
understand?
This is Deuteronomy 28 and 53. Thou that shalt eat the fruit of thy own body. Now this is going to something else. So that man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil towards his brother. And that's another thing as well. The crime, the gangs. This is one of the curses. His eye shall be evil towards his brother. So that's another thing we've got to deal with out here as well. That's part of the curses because we went off. Read Deuteronomy 28. It gives you the blessings, and Deuteronomy 28 and 15, the curses. And toward the wife of his bosom, so you're right. Right? And check this out. And the wife of his burden to word the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. So you got man stepping out on the woman and not handling their responsibilities as a man. So yeah, you're right. The scriptures say that. But it does say it goes both ways as well.
So yeah, what I think it cannot change right now. The only way is the whole world needs a revival, turning back to God. You understand? If we do not turn back to God and seek God for mercy, it's not going to be good.
I'm not going to lie, that thunderstorm that happened the other day, that scared me. I said to my mom, that did not sound like a normal.
I had the window
that
right
did not.
open.
Yes, so did I. But I was like, that did not sound like a normal thunderstorm. That sounded like there was some spiritual warfare going on up there. That had nothing to do with a thunderstorm. You know, it's a thunder, lightning, lightning.
It happened yesterday. Yesterday, there was so many lightning.
I must have slept through that one.
But you know what? I've got to let the scriptures come out because sometimes, you know what? I feel like a lot of people, I need to reserve my energy. Because even when I'm talking with people, that's the energy. That's exchange of energy. I need to reserve it because I only got so much energy. I can't give it to everyone. You know what I'm saying?
No, but that's the thing now where I'm like, no, don't touch me. That I don't know of.
Yeah, people like to do that a lot.
Yeah, just don't touch me, please.
It's the aura, you know.
But that's why before you leave, you pray. And when you get in, you pray. Because you don't know who have judged you. And with the one that we're living in, you might see somebody walking with 2 legs, but in the spiritual realm, they're upside down.
Yeah.
No, but this is what I'm trying. And you know, I moved here 4 years ago.
Okay.
And then when I found out what I did when I moved here, I said, Jesus, why did I move to this place?
What did you do?
No, I'm saying that Croydon, in the whole entire world, holds the biggest witches festival ever. So I'm like, why are we in the whole entire world? So we're walking past them every single day.
That's why I said this place had a demonic aura to it.
This is why I said, why did I move?
This holds the biggest. When is the witches festival then?
October.
That's why.
That's why this place is so demonic.
If you walk past East Croydon Station, that building that used to be behind, right, and it used to have some weird picture of that, to me looked like a Nephilim. It was a weird picture. They've knocked it down now, but it used to have a weird type of snake thing on it too.
I don't remember.
It's like a, you know where the car park is, where the cabs would park. You know where the cabs would park?
I don't know.
Okay, there's literally a building there, and if you walked out of East Croydon where the cabs would stop for you to get out and go to the station, there used to be a building right there.
It used to have a baby on it.
Yeah, like some weird big, but to me it looked like a massive Nephilim, because it also used to have the upside down.
I saw that.
Yeah,
so that was some.
And there was an abandoned building. Me and my mum used to talk about all the time, they ain't no abandoned. If any children go missing or anything like that, they're probably in there.
Right, spiritual. So this sister here is telling me, and I said this, I've taught in many places. This town is one of the most demonic towns I've taught in. You could just feel it, even when people walk past.
You can feel coldness as well.
Yeah. And you're right, I pray constantly, without ceasing. I pray, because you have to. And there's many different spirits out there.
Prayer and reading the Bible goes hand in hand, because the prayer is the food, the Bible, the word is your water, and it's also, it says heaven and earth will pass away, but my word
shall not pass away.
Will not. So all this will pass away. The whole world, God is not concerned of any of this. The only thing He's concerned about is for us to know His word.
Well, you know what? The whole world ain't gonna pass away. One generation passes away, another generation coming, but the earth abideth forever. Because where are we gonna rule? We're gonna need to rule on earth. America's gonna
but there's gonna be a new heaven.
Oh yeah.
And a new generation, and a new earth. Is in Revelation 21. There's gonna be a new, because He said the whole world will pass away, and the whole heaven will pass away. But there will be a new heaven and a new earth.
When you say 1,000 years, the wicked of our people, they're going to be in the kingdom for 1,000 years of shame if they don't repent.
Yeah.
That's why the main thing
is. Are you trying to teach my children that right now? I'm not taking my children, I'm teaching you.
That's why they need to
repent. Remember we had that conversation?
That's why they
it's
need to
the
repent
lies.
now.
Yeah, I
Teach
know
them to
it's the
repent
lies,
now.
but I'm trying to teach them
Do
that
you
it
think
doesn't
you're
mean that
talking
you
to
do
school?
it. Yeah.
And you're with taking them to school. So do you have to?
Do I have to take them?
Yeah.
I mean, one of them wants to go by themselves now, but I'm more like.
Because you know what, you don't know what they're teaching your children in school.
Yeah, no, that's
And this is my issue. I would like to homeschool because, school is like prison and they're indoctrinating them. But my issue is my eldest child, he's a Zen child, his behaviour's quite a bit wild. And I know for a fact, I pulled him out, they're using that against me, that I won't be able to look after him, I won't be able to deal with his behaviour. Otherwise, it would have been out 18 months. I would have never kept him in there. I didn't even want Maya to start. She's just started reception.
Because you know what they're pushing right in your schools.
The same gender, all the.
all
I
the
asked the teacher,
transgenderism.
the sex education. I said you need to send me the transcript before I consent to anything you're going to teach my child.
This is why I got this. This is why I marked this stuff. There's something called gang stalking. I don't know if you've heard of it. Gang stalking is like a new operation there. It's basically human trafficking.
Oh, yeah.
I follow a lot of it, and even where they smuggle the children from the London centres into the outside.
That's what they're doing.
I struggled with that. I had social involved in my life for about, was it 5 years? And I know for a fact, and I don't care about saying it on live or whatever, either Merton, biggest running one, someone paid to have my children because I could bring my case to any lawyer, and every lawyer said they've never seen a case like this before ever.
Someone paid to have your children.
Yeah, because you were trying to take my children from me without any court. You didn't get no advice from the court. I begged you lot to take me to court. You couldn't take me to court because you had no evidence. As soon as I moved to Croydon, it's only because I had a social worker that was from another country, which was Australia, that actually helped us, and we have them not involved at all. But if that wasn't the case for that one person, because it's every borough, if it wasn't the case for that one woman, I wouldn't have my children because someone paid to take them.
That's a part of the trafficking. Trafficking is a racketeering scheme. And they prey on people that are somewhat.
It's always single mothers as well that don't have the man involved, so that it's a weaker.
Or they look at a child. Say if you have one child that's like the black sheep of the family, they will try to isolate that child. That child's already isolated, but they would try to create a scenario with the family, where the family kicks that child out, and now it's in the hands of, traffickers.
Yeah, they tried that because most children that go into care, they're not actually registered in care. They're being sold to somebody else. It's
This is where.
or you walk in, you see in like Cambridge and stuff, you walk in and you're wondering why you're hearing this screaming, but you can hear it from the drains because all of these cities underground. There's a whole city. Right now, there's someone living underground.
Before you came up, I brought this out. There's underground cities, and this is what goes on. And human trafficking is. I used to see signs, and I just thought, alright, trafficking rubbish. I'm more passionate about this because I'm seeing it even where I live. There's people going in and out, moving cars, changing the cars up.
What about even right now? That how many people? Well, let's say black people are magically disappearing and then ending up dead, but it's always by water. It's a lake. That black guy that died the other day. It's always by water.
Well,
that's the correlate. That's what I'm trying to accept. That doesn't make sense.
I've got some. You know what? It's a massive scheme. Trafficking is a multi-billion industry. And you know what people need? They say, alright. So if you have a contractor, he has a 5G, they can look at you in your house, they may be able to see your organs. Oh, he has a nice juicy heart. Someone could do with that. Now you're on some dark web.
And you don't realise that all of a sudden, so say for example, this person needs your kidney, and there's no person that's naturally dying with it that matches them. So they look you up, all of a sudden, oh okay, this person's only 20-something years old, all of a sudden you died in a bus accident, a car crash. All of a sudden you died and that person's paid for your organ.
Hey, this is what's going on.
That's been going on for years.
This is what's going on. It's wicked. And another thing I've noticed as well when I'm out here, you have a lot of women that will push their prams about as well, and you have children that will be walking.
And randomly pick up your kid.
Yeah, and you have a child that will be running about to where that truck is, and the mother will be here where we are. And you're like, well, what's your child doing all the way over there? So there's certain things that are going on that are just off key.
And that's
trafficking
blue,
is one of
isn't
them.
it? Blue water right now that it's happening with a lot of children are getting kidnapped. It got brought up the other day.
It's happening everywhere.
It's
Yeah,
happening
that's one of the
everywhere.
main targeted places at the moment in London.
Because they're trying to sensitize people as well to the idea of liking children. This is what's going on.
But it's been like that for ages, because I always used to say to my mum, if you go to any
They
Catholic
don't-
church
they
or
don't
anything
just
like that,
only need
why
them-
have you got children naked? I used to say that. Go to a Catholic church, you've got cherubims.
Oh
Why are they
yeah,
naked?
those are
Yeah.
big
But that's
time.
no, but that's
They are-
normal.
But you know what that goes back to?
They are not.
That goes back to paedophilia,
Mhm.
because the Catholic Church,
That's-
they're paedophiles. That's what they hey, let's come out with it real. We can't sugarcoat things. The Catholic Church are paedophiles.
They are.
They're playing with your children and they get moved from parish to parish.
But
But
it's not
nothing's going
even
to
just
get done.
that. They have the altar, and then if you actually went downstairs, they also have another altar directly underneath.
Yeah, I never
and they
knew
also
that.
worship
Yeah,
the
they
devil
do.
there too.
Yeah.
So you got the other ones coming to church thinking, yeah, we're actually worshipping God. Wow, you're not. You're
This
worshipping
is
the devil.
what's going on, and it needs to be exposed. But they're trying to get people sensitized to the idea of liking a little child, and they dress them up in pink as well, because pink represents, I believe, it represents innocence. These are cult members. So even when a lot of people that walk past, a lot of cult members walk past, right? And their whole agenda is to push in paedophilia and mix it in with LGBT and how people are accepting it. This is what's going to happen soon.
Yeah, because they're trying to get rid of the man as well. They're trying to literally take away
Don't
the
be
man.
surprised if that gets legalized. And that's why I asked you, are your children in school? But I know there's money as well. If you take them out, that costs a lot of money as well. But if
It's
it's
not
up
even
to
the
me,
money, it's just that I know I'm going to have a big fight.
The whole matter of this, the matter of all this
Yeah.
is that if we're able to make money, go back to Africa.
I said if the ship came tomorrow, I'd be gone, mate. The ship came tomorrow and said you lot can go back.
But you know
I'd
what?
be gone tomorrow.
You know what our homeland is Israel. That's our homeland,
Yeah.
not Africa. Africa was basically named after a Roman general.
Yeah, I
named
know.
African Scipio.
Well, I prefer to
Africanus.
go Africa than go Caribbean. I'm
Oh, why?
Jamaican.
Right.
That ain't really where I'm from.
But you're an Israelite, so really, you're going to be put in your own land, anyway. You're going to get put in your own land.
Where is Israel? Do you think that country there is Israel?
Because I was going to say, it's been moved about so many times from so many. It's probably
And
an African
Ethiopia.
country.
No.
anyway.
Ethiopia.
Israel ain't Africa. Israel is the Middle East.
But I'm saying, it's been moved around, so we've been taught that it's the Middle East.
Yeah.
What if it's not?
No,
And I'm
it is.
talking about through earthquakes and everything.
It
The
is
plate
the
that's
Middle East.
moving.
It is the Middle East. It's Middle East. You look at the map of Israel, Syria on the border of it, and you have what? Turkey on the other end. Israel is Middle East.
And the
That's
only
why
reason
it's
why I was
called
asking is because Africa is the only country that's actually anchored to the core of the earth. Is why I'm asking.
Well, I don't know about all that.
Okay, that's why I was
I'll
asking.
know.
So who
I got something concerning what we're talking about, the gang stalking. I want to bring more awareness about this trafficking, what
is
they're
your
doing with
page?
children.
Your page as well.
What's my page?
Yes.
You know, I don't really want to give up my page like that, because all these things that are happening, I just got.
No, I mean, as in like, are you just recording or are people actually watching it?
I'm just recording. People ain't
Oh,
watching.
okay. No, sorry. I thought you was on like
But
a
you
live
know
or
what?
something.
You
That's
say
why
that
I
now there is people watching it. I just don't know how they managed to hack into my device.
What?
You have these are cult members that watch my videos. They can hack into your device. I'm being watched.
Oh, because I thought you was actually on live. That's why I was asking. For
No,
your,
I don't do
your
live. I
actual
don't
name.
like-
I was
like
I was
all that
asking for your whole name. Oh wow.
No. I'm not live, but I am live because they can hack into your account and make
So I
it
don't
live.
like all
with-
this Face ID stuff.
Yeah, I don't like all that as well.
And what annoyed me is actually a family member. You know, in fact, when you've tried to protect yourself as much from it, and then a
Yeah.
family member uses like Snapchat or something, it's like, oh, I put one of your photos in, and I'm like, why did you do that?
Yeah.
Why did you ask me?
But I want to continue on this the whole thing with the gang stalking and these children, what they're doing. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14 and 23. For whilst they slew their children in sacrifices or used secret ceremonies, and as you were saying, they have underground chambers. This is what they're doing.
That's why I said it's not only for their
And I
hearts.
remember they put everything in the films as well.
Oh yeah.
So like,
That's
there's
true.
literally a film called Adrenochrome.
Indirect
Or
tell
what's
you.
that two old women that was living forever because they were taking the serum? What's the film called again?
What's adrenochrome? Is blood drinking,
Adrenochrome
right?
is the
Yeah,
blood
they
of
do
a
that
younger
to drink.
person
Yeah.
because they need the high. Only children under the age of 9 have the highest heights of adrenaline, and that's what they put their youth in.
That's why before they drink that blood, what do? They put them under something called ritual abuse. Ritual
Yeah.
abuse, so someone can panic,
They literally
trauma,
abuse them so that adrenaline can seep
and
into
they
their
love
blood.
that because remember, demons they feed off
Fear.
fear. That's why we can't be too fearful when we come at them and teach because they feed off of that. But it's like blood to a vampire. They love it. And then vampire films, they are true because then vampires represent them Satanists, which they are Satanists. Occult members walking past us, putting up spells, doing all types
But
of
I
stuff.
was going to say, you see, have you ever decided one day that, because usually I just walk, usually most people are backwards. And one day I decided, no, I'm going to make sure I have my shoulders back, head up, that, more confident. You realise how much more people stare at you. I don't like it. It makes me feel uncomfortable. Because I'm like, some of the people that are looking at you, you walk past and like, oh, you feel cold. I don't understand it.
Well, you know what? People hate that as well when you're confident because they're not confident, they're insecure, right? And when you're confident, people say, oh, well, you know it all. No, it's not that. It's just that you're confident in what you believe.
You see, it's better you know it all and tell them the truth that will save their soul than to not know it all and all of you end up in hell because it's not good. It's better you inform people what you're doing now is really good because at
Yeah, I was
the
going
end
to say,
of the
respect
day,
you for it, because most
at
people
the
go to
end of
church
the
for how
day,
many
any
years,
one
they
of
can't
these-
come out and talk.
Yeah,
or
and
do
they're not
anything.
learning anything. What are they
Yeah.
learning?
any one of these people that have heard your word, whether they like it or not, is going to be used against them on judgment.
Yeah.
So you can't say I did not hear it.
That's
So
another thing. I
it's
learned.
even bad that you don't, even when you don't know anything about God, you sin. That when you know,
Oh, the
or
scriptures say that, yeah.
you heard,
You shall be beaten with many stripes.
yes, that when you know and you heard,
Yeah, and I was going to say that's another thing that he does over there when we were talking about the mercy seat. When he gets up from that mercy seat, and you think that you can go and keep repenting,
no,
and he
there'll be
ain't
no
there no more.
repentance.
But you know what? You
What
know
are you
what?
going to do then?
There is mercy, but the mercy is for the elect. Right? That's that grace period. It's for
Like
now
that grey period, yeah.
to get right. And that's why I'm out here.
And it's funny because I actually came across online when somebody said, I know I'm running out of time, but I'm just not ready yet.
Someone
No.
said that.
That, yeah, there's
No,
those
you're
people
not
have
ready.
thought that.
That's why we always, because you might be walking on the road and God just take yours. That's it. You're
Yeah.
dead.
No, but they're talking
So
about
you
the fact
have
that
to
they know
repent
judgment day is
everything.
coming.
No,
And
judgment
they-
day
I've got something concerning what you
So
said.
like, I'm not ready.
This is Ezekiel 3. And jump straight to verse 18. When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life, the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity.
Yeah.
By his blood will have acquired at thine hand.
Yes.
So, again, when I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and givest him not warning, that same man's going to die at your expense.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I will get judged for that, because
Yeah.
I'm not warning him.
So that's why you need to hold.
Verse 19, yet if thou warn the
You need to
wicked,
tell people
and he turn not from his wickedness,
his blood will be on his hand.
nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but I have delivered thy soul. So I'm delivering my soul. I'm getting the blood off my hands, because I don't want no part of it.
Yeah.
So if you have a brother or sister, I've told my brother, I've told my family, if they want to
I've
back up,
told
they
him
can.
the end was saying this. The only thing this boy turns around and tells me is God is with me. I have God with me. Okay.
I've got something. This is verse 20.
Okay.
Again, when a righteous man doth turn from his righteousness and commit iniquity, I lay a stumbling block before him, and he shall die, because thou hast not given him warning. He shall die in his sin, his righteous which you have done shall not be remembered, but his blood shall require thy hand. So you may have one, wakes up to the truth, but he goes back into sin. And if you don't warn him, he's going to die in his iniquity. And the blood will be still required at our hands. So you can still be in the truth, learn this truth, but go back off. If you're not warning your brother, it'll be on my hands. So that's why I have to come out here, because I've got more on me now, because now I know. So there's much more burden upon me, because I know the truth. So I can't turn back.
That's why I said my people perish because of lack of knowledge. And how when we get the knowledge is when we read. When we read If you don't go, like I didn't know anything that my body is the temple of God before I had my children. That this body I have is not my own in the first place for me to just sleep with man that is not my husband. You understand? I've done that. But now no man will come to me and tell me, oh, I like it. I will just look at you. Can you not see the way I look? You have to be led by the Spirit, for the Holy Spirit to lead you to me, to come and say, okay, you are somebody I want to be with. And I will ask you, what's your relationship with God? For you to, because you have to have a relationship with God to lead me in my home. You not just come to me, I like you, because I like it the way you look.
And it's not, I believe in God. Do you actually pray every single day?
Bear me just a minute.
So,
And then, do you know what the society is now as well? They believe in the devil, but they don't believe in God. It doesn't make sense.
But that's what he said, because they are all lovers of themselves. He said men
You
become
can see how
lovers,
selfish
lovers
everyone's
of
becoming now.
themselves.
You can already see it.
So if you
I've got something. This is 1 Corinthians 8. No, go to 7. And lo, when you be edified. Verse 25. Now concerning virgins, I have no commandment of the Lord. Let I give my judgment as one that hath obtained mercy of the Lord to be faithful. I suppose therefore that it is good for the present distress. I say that it's good for a man so to be. Art thou bound unto a wife? Seek not to be loosed. Art thou loosed from a wife? Seek not a wife. So if you're bound to a wife, don't put her away just because she ain't in the truth. Right? Art thou loosed from a wife? Seek not a wife. So if you don't have a woman, you don't really need to go out your way to seek a woman. But, and if thou married, thou hast not sinned, and if a virgin marry, she have not sinned. A virgin just means a young lady.
yeah.
Right? And another word for virgin is one that has been uncut, that has not had sex. Right? Nevertheless, such shall have trouble in the flesh. When you're dealing with these women, you're gonna have trouble because they need to be catered to. But I spare you, right? But Paul was saying, I still spare you. Do what you're doing. But this I say, brethren, the time is short. It remaineth that both they that have wives, because that they had none. So you may even have a wife. I know it sounds horrible, but you got to be like you don't even have none. You got to be focused on this truth. It doesn't mean you treat her like dirt, but you got to be focused on the true woman.
That's
Which
not,
is,
that's not
right? And it
that
says,
is my uncle, 100%.
it made if though that both that they have wives, because they had none. They that weep, though they wept not. And they that rejoice, as they rejoice not. They that buy, as they possess not. And they that use this world as not abusing it over excess. For the fashion of this world passeth away. So the fashions of this world soon will pass away.
Yeah, that's where the Revelation 21 comes in.
And this is the thing, just because you may have a man, you may say, well, he's not a godly man, so you can't speak to him. No, that's off, you can't do that. We're going to get into it. But I would have you carefulness. He that is unmarried,
I'm sorry.
carry for the things that belong to the Lord, how he may please the Lord. So again, you without carefulness, he that is unmarried, carry for the things that are of
the Lord.
the Lord.
Yes.
But he that is married, care for the things that are of the world, how he may please
The
his
husband
wife.
and the husband.
So if you, no, but if it's a man that's married,
No, I'm
that's
saying
in the
I'm married,
truth.
so therefore.
No, I want to get into that as well. I'm getting to that. But there's a difference also between a wife and a virgin. The unmarried woman careth for the things of the Lord.
Yes.
You see? That she may be both holy, both in body and spirit. But she that is married careth for the things of the world. So you could be married, but that means you care for the things of the world. Right? And it says how she may please her husband. That's if you're still with him. Right? And this I speak to your own profits. Not that I may cast a snare upon you, but for that which is comely. So it wasn't to cast any burdens upon you, just so you could be more focused on this truth. But for that which is comely, that you may attend upon the Lord without distraction. So if you don't have a wife, you're not distracted.
Yeah.
Vice versa. You can focus more on this.
You have to focus
Right?
on the things.
And
I'm not distracted anyway.
this is why I get a lot of honeypots that get sent my way, To distract me from the truth. Yeah, that's what they call. Honeypot.
No, but okay, so
They set up
my
some women are
husband
set up.
doesn't live in this country.
Okay.
So he lives in another country. We've got problems right now, so I'm like, My granddad thinks it's great.
Yeah, you should. If you can, you should, because that's your husband. And
there
the
is
first man you lay
Sama.
down.
in the Bible.
That's not the point.
The first man you
Okay,
lay
but
down.
what he's done
Yeah.
allows me, sorry to put my finger at you, allows
Yeah.
me, right?
To divorce. But
Yes.
No, you can put away, but you don't divorce.
Yeah.
Because you can
That's
become
it.
Okay, no, but what
We're
I'm
gonna
trying
shut
to
off
say,
soon as well. This
Okay,
has been a
but
long day for
I
me.
know.
You're draining me, man.
No, but what
I need to
I
look up that energy. I need
but
draining me. I am an empath, innit? So I
So
feel
am I.
energy. I feel energy.
Didn't you see me keep doing this? I keep doing this,
Yeah,
but I'm
I'm-
looking at the time,
I'm
like,
an
yo.
empath, and empaths are very, very
And
spiritual.
I'm supposed to go back and do work, and I'm probably
Right?
going to go home and
The
lay in my
Messiah,
bed
the
now
Messiah was
because
an
I'm
impact.
tired.
The Messiah, you can feel other people's energies. When someone's feeling hurt, you can feel that as well. That's what something I need to work upon, because I take on other people's and that ain't good. So as an empath,
No, I know, but that's why I'm checking my time, because I'm like, oh.
The Lord helped you to do that.
yeah.
When you take on other people's burden, it's because you have the Spirit of God in you, and you feel what they feel.
Even if someone has a headache, I have it.
Yeah, I don't get to that point. That's up next.
No. Like, even if someone has a headache, I have it. Like, or I'll call my mum, like, why am I feeling like this? Have you got a bellyache? Or la.
Yeah, everybody have different. Everybody is operating differently.
Yeah.
You understand? So the Lord will help you. That's why you should not relent on prayer, because He said we need to even to down to our enemy. We have to pray for them.
Oh, but see, that's it, right? Yeah, I hear what you're saying. The scriptures pray for your enemies and those that misuse you. But even with that, it's a balance, because I have a thing now where certain people, I got into a bit of dilemma, and certain
But
people
you
are trying to do
have to-
judge.
No,
They're trying to do judge and
you have to
all
Do you
types
mean
of
it's
stuff.
just people associated to you, or directly at you?
People was once associated with me. Jealousy, when you wake up the truth, the people in that you knew, they're going to be the first ones to come up against you. And a man's foe should be they of his own household.
Of course.
So-
but that's why the Lord tell you,
Yeah.
you have to take up your cross and come and walk with Him for yourself.
That's what I'm doing.
It's not. You don't need to. Listen, if people are not with you, as long as the matter of fact that they pass in, they hear your voice, it's up to them now to change.
Yeah.
And you cannot change them.
Yeah, you're
It's
right,
only
you're right,
the
you're
Holy
right,
Spirit
you're right.
that can change them.
Yeah.
Our Holy Spirit is the great, the one that can transform the life of everybody. But it said in I think it's in Matthew or John, where
I'm going to
you
touch
have
something else.
you have to stay away from your children, your husband, your everything, your parents, and take up your cross by
I know what you're
yourself.
saying. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. Let me see if I can find it more. He that loveth mother or father more than me is basically not worthy of me.
Yes. So it's up to you to have a personal relationship with God, and everybody have to have a personal relationship with God.
Yes, please.
So you cannot look at other people trying to fight you because you have the Spirit of God in you. Only thing, always rely on God. He said we have to rely on Him, because even to ourselves, we cannot trust ourselves. We have to rely on God. That's a proverb. We have to rely on God with our soul, our mind, our spirit, our thoughts. We have to rely on God.
No, she did say I'm supposed to walk full pressure.
This is Proverbs. This is Proverbs 3 and 5. Trust in the Lord Yahawah with all our heart. This is the one you're talking about.
That's it.
And lean not unto thy own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct thy path.
Yes, exactly. So if you say somebody wants to do a new, they can't. Because He said, who can be against you? Or who can speak against you when the Lord has not spoken? Or who is in Isaiah? Who will speak? Isaiah 7. who is he that will speak when the Lord has not spoken? You understand?
And word, people try to speak word curses over my life as well.
Perfect.
So they can't, they have no authority because you have greater authority because he that is in you is greater than he that is in the world.
If I may ask, what type of surgery is it?
My knees, they keep dislocating, like they just, like, yeah.
How
Since I
comes
was
you know?
16.
Okay.
First time I was play fighting, turned my body really fast, my legs were planted, it just came out. And then now I get told that it just keeps happening to both of them.
By the way,
The Lord willing, the Lord will heal.
Well, I did say put me on the list, but it doesn't mean I'm actually doing the surgery. Because I was like, the risk you've given me is basically the same problems I have now, so I could do it and still have the issues. But look, one thing I wanted to do before we go back into the other stuff we were talking about is when I was talking about the man thing, I was talking about, okay, adultery, right? If that allows me to divorce, why should I have to stay in it?
no, it says it's Matthew.
Because what I'm trying to say is what I get from most religious people is because I'm married, I should stay with him, but he has another child.
That's where forgiveness comes in.
Yeah,
I can forgive him, but I can
woman.
forgive him, but not be with him. Why do I have to be with him in order to forgive him? I've already forgiven you.
So what's the situation? Did he cheat on you?
Yeah, because I've been with you 5 years, married 2 years. Your daughter has just turned 1.
You know what? This is gonna annoy you.
You still have to forgive.
You know, according to the scriptures, a man can have more than one woman. I got something.
Yeah, it
7 women,
depends.
7
I
women.
just feel like that's a culture thing.
That's
and
half of you. I know that's half of you.
I feel like it's a culture thing and not a woman.
You know what that is?
No, but listen to this. The worst thing is he said that he has to speak to the grandmother.
Is that your car?
No.
That's a nice car.
He has to speak to the grandmother, instead of speaking to the woman in order to talk about the daughter. So I'm like, he said they can't have no civil conversation. So I said, but she was civil enough to lay down with it.
You know this is going to happen in the last day. Isaiah 4, and in that day 7 women shall take hold of one man. 7.
Yeah,
but these are going to be in a time of trouble, and they're not going to be looking beautiful, by the way.
No, that's exactly.
And
That's
saying we will eat our own breads and wear our own apparel. Why? Because it's going to be so much chaos. They're going to be looking for a real man. And what's a real man? A real man is a man that has faith. Not money, not cars. Because you can have a homeless man. He's homeless, but he's still a man because he has faith. What did it was said to, I think it was King David or Solomon, show yourself a man and keep the commandments. That's what makes you a man. Not all this. See, the world teaches you what it is to be a man. Picket fence, the dogs, the wife.
But that's
To be a man,
my
you have
thing
faith.
is if you've done that, to me it's an ultimate disrespect. I feel like if I stay, what warrants you not to do it again? Because I've already accepted that. It's not like you've done anything in between those ones. You've done the highest.
But that's,
so
Well, if you stay, that shows your faithfulness to your man. That shows your faithfulness, even though he cheated. That shows your integrity. That shows your integrity as a woman.
You know what annoys me as well?
What's
It's like
that?
because he was there and I'm here, and at the time there was COVID, I couldn't just hop on the plane and go mash you up. I had to stay here.
Where is he? Is he on the islands?
No, it's in the US.
Okay.
But he was in Jamaica. But,
So
so my daughter, I have a daughter with him. My youngest child is his daughter.
Okay. How old is she from you?
She's 4, turning 5 in December.
So.
And that's why I'm like, it's a girl. I'm like, I don't want her to think this is normal.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm worried about. Not the faithfulness, the fact that somebody can disrespect you, and I don't want it to happen another time where she thinks it's okay to stay, that she puts herself in those situations.
That's the world.
So who's your daughter living with? She living with you?
Yeah, she's living with me right now.
Okay.
That's the
But
world.
you've
But
told, have you
what's
told her?
sad about it is the boy's dad still has a relationship with obviously his children.
Okay.
But she feels like she has a relationship with him more than her father because she actively sees him.
I hear what you're saying. But you just tell her what the deal is. See, most women, you know what they say? I'm not with your father because he was a bad man.
Oh, no, I
and
don't
he's
do that.
see that's you gotta keep her.
I don't do that. Unfortunately, my child was 11 years old.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's where I'm struggling with because I'm like, the children are supposed to have an involvement with their father. My eldest at the moment is saying that he don't want anything at all.
Well, Or you just let your daughter know what's happening.
And you know it used to be a village to raise a child. There's no village no more.
Well, you know what the village is? It's these scriptures. I've got some.
So that's like my thing. My friend wanted me to come to go to her church with her, and I said I've been to your church once before. I actually really like it. But my conflict is just because it's just my own opinion. Like you have your own. Is I wouldn't keep the Sabbath on a Saturday. You don't go to church on a Sunday. That's not.
No, that's Roman Catholic. That's all Catholic.
That's
The
not
Christmas,
me.
the New Year.
I don't celebrate Christmas no more, but then I feel bad because of the children. But
No,
I'm like,
you
if
don't.
you never had it, if you never had
No,
it,
you
you
said-
wouldn't care about
No,
it.
you celebrate Passover. You
That's-
celebrate
that's-
Passover.
that's-
And I'm like, you get presents throughout the whole year. Why
That's
do
a
I have
hard
to do it
one.
on
That's a
one
hard
day?
one because again, what can you really?
It's
Alright.
when the children go back to school and
You
then
got your
they're-
family, you got the children, you got all that. What can you really say when you're celebrating? You can't. Oh well, we're not going to do it because of that. Especially if you have a wife. You know, oh well, the Bible says it. You got to kind of just use wisdom. Like, I remember you from last time.
Get you on the rebounds, yeah?
Yeah. You know the virgin birth is unbiblical.
It's not.
I've got all the scriptures that back it up.
When we reason.
Alright, next time, another day. This week, Lord
When you
willing.
hear again? When you hear again?
Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh, you're here on Sunday.
Busy day for me. What about after that?
You know what? Let's just move with the spirit. Whenever we see each other, we'll see each other.
Tuesday.
Lord willing. Ain't no promises. Lord willing.
No, but yeah.
Right?
Alright.
But yes, the Messiah had a biological father. Right?
For a whole other reason.
Yeah, I ain't
Right,
gonna
I want to hear
reason.
that one. But that's been
Which
the
one?
question.
So-
That's been a question.
Biological father for what?
Because I thought he had no biological mother or
Joseph.
father.
Yes, but
Joseph was his father. The Immaculate Conception is not. It's not biblical, and that's why you need to get into words because they didn't lie down with each other, right? And I've got all the scriptures to back it up.
lie down with each other.
He did like Joseph lied down with Mary. The Holy Spirit, when it's the Holy Spirit conceived, yeah, she was conceived with the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean there was no father there, because you need to see to angels don't have sex. Angels don't have sex. So
Now, where was Mary brought up?
where was Mary brought up? In what, Jerusalem?
No, Mary was brought up in the temple
Yeah.
where, Elizabeth's husband, John the Baptist, Zachariah, was the priest there. And Mary was brought up in the temple. From when Mary was born, when she was weaned from breastfeeding, she didn't eat normal food like we eat with the bread and all those things. She was taken to the temple to be brought up there.
Yeah.
And she was not even fed. Even in the temple, it was angel that was feeding her. She got taught in the temple.
But you know what? The whole thing is Mary, she ain't to be worshipped. Mary was just
I'm
a woman.
not worshiping. I'm not worshiping. God forbid. I
Well,
can't worship.
the individual that you just saw last week went to a long one. His whole thing was, well, the Messiah didn't have a father. The Immaculate Conception. My whole thing, the Immaculate Conception goes all the way back to the Roman Catholic Church, which the Roman Catholic Church got it from Babylon, which is Tammuz and Semiramis, right? Which is what? Nimrod, which is pagan worship.
Yeah.
That's where you get the Madonna.
That's the only thing
And
I
the
like
baby
about
sitting
uncle
on Madonna.
research is that you research. My uncle researches hard.
You have to
Go back.
research. You have to do your
That's the
studies.
point about Uncle went through the whole moon thing just to research as well. Is it demonic? Is it not? Why do people to worship the moon? Blah, blah, blah.
No, but
He
that's where the
researches
book of
everything.
Enoch come in, and the Lord's book of the Bible, because it tells you how baby was conceived and how she became pregnant and all those things. But they took it out from this. Bible.
That's why I asked you what Bible was reading, because the King James Bible, there's a lot of being taken out. I got it at home.
This is
I like it because it's easier to
yeah,
understand.
but you don't want the new translation. You want
No,
just the King James version.
Just the King James version.
And this is the most accurate in
Yeah.
English.
Yeah, yeah.
The most
That's
accurate.
in English.
Translated from Hebrew, from Latin to Greek to
Yeah, that's
English.
what I like. It's
Some
easier
people
to
can't
understand. Yes, it's easier to
If I was to
understand.
speak to you in Hebrew, you wouldn't understand me.
I definitely would.
You know?
You said some names
How
there.
should now
that-
Awafia,
You said some names
Babisha,
earlier that I was like,
you know, so
"Oh,
again, that's why I'm speaking English. But you get yourself a King James Bible if you ain't got it.
Yeah.
There's that one king, yeah, I never can pronounce the name.
Nebuchadnezzar.
Nebuchadnezzar. Yeah, he's got that heathen name, innit?
Yeah, I can never say
Nebuchadnezzar.
it.
They got weird names.
Nebuchadnezzar.
Yeah, Nebuchadnezzar. He was at Syrian in the Babylonian captivity.
He dreams, but because he became so proud,
Yeah.
that's what this story is.
Hey, that's a spirit, because I was reading it yesterday. He got brought down, Daniel gave him that vision, the stump, the tree. You know? But you know what, I'm going to shut off soon because,
Yeah.
hey, I got to reserve my energy, I got to work on it, you know. But no, it was a blessing anyway, you know, it was well worth it because not many people come up that are sincere. And you know, there's only a few sincere ones. So, yeah.
It's all about the Holy Spirit.
Yes.
He's here with us. Because he said, the moment his name is mentioned, we are 1, 2, and 3 are gathered.
I am
He's
there.
in our midst. You understand? So he's in our midst. We might not see him, but we are carrier of the Holy Spirit. So that's why we have to always be, always be holy. Always go with your meekness. The Lord is very meek at heart. He's a very meek God. That's why he's able to forgive instantly. You understand?
Yeah, Satan would do that as well. Satan does that a lot as well because I have repented. Satan would say, you know, when I'm praying, I ain't listening to you. Shut up, you ain't listening. Satan does that, you know. You'll never be forgiven. Remember what you done? Remember what you done last week?
Yeah.
Remember what you done last year? You're not gonna make it. That's what Satan.
He does.
Yeah.
But the only thing, that's why he said we should not lean on our own understanding.
Yeah.
The things of God is spiritual, it's not physical. So the moment you sit at home, you say, okay, I want to take my Bible and read it. That's where sleep will just come. But if you sleep, wake up and go back to the Bible. Whenever that you want to read the Bible, anything that happens to you, when you get tired, wake up, go back to it. You understand? Because that's the only thing that will strengthen you. That's the only thing that is going to save us is the Word of God. There'll be a time that will take this from you forcefully. Yes. But the moment you have it in your heart, it's not going to be taken from your heart. That's why he said to Jacob, he said, Joshua, he said, let this word meditate in your heart. You understand? Let it be something we meditate in our heart. Even in the New Testament, it said
I was going to say, even do one on the, you should do one as well that have children, like you see how the children's behaviours are now, and the devil going in, controlling the households, and how the children are behaving. That's why I just said to you, I just remembered I didn't ask my mum about the metal, getting rid of the metals out of the body, because of what the children are drinking, what they're putting in the school dinners, that you talk about school and that stuff. Yeah, I just realised I need to go and buy it, because my son needs to get rid of all the metals in his body. I guarantee his behaviour is going to be a lot
the best way
different.
to do that is go into the wilderness.
Yes.
That's how you detox from metals and drink a lot of water.
Yeah.
Because the reason why they have these metals in your system is so they can track you also, which the planes, they have something called chemtrails. And that's bits of nanoparticles.
And you know when you
So
do them
did you take the
detoxing in the
vaccine?
bath and you see it rub off.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
See what? Wait.
I have to do that just in case, you know. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Yeah.
No, I did not. I did not take it because my body is the temple of God.
Right.
Wait, take
And
what? What are we
the
talking about?
The
vaccine.
vaccine.
Oh no, I'm not taking that.
You know? And that's all got all types of madness in it as well.
Oh no. That's why you need the Lord. He will reveal. It doesn't have
And you do
secret.
realise it shows in there that many people that are religious and did take it. I had to cuss my dad too because my dad said he took it because of his wife. She just.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna shut off now. I want to give all. Because it's gonna be. I'll be here forever. I want to give all honors and praises and glory belongs to my Lord and Savior, whose name is Yahawah, Bahasham Yahawashi, Bahasham Wahavakar Kodash.
It was nice.
And until the next time.
Nice talking to you, but research Godji when you get
Shalom.
home.
Godji.
Yeah, Godji. Research it with the thing we were just talking about.
Right. I want to give all honors and praises to Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, who allowed me to come out here and teach this word again.
Amen.
Right? And until the next time, Shalom. To the whole word. Shalom means peace.
Yeah, shalom.
Right? So Shalom. Peace. And may the Lord bless your endeavors. Right?
Also yours.
Alright, thank you, sister. Until the next time, Shalom.